In the golden sands of Egypt, beneath the relentless sun, there walked a creature both feared and adored. Not a pharaoh, not a god, but a cat. Sleek, mysterious, graceful. The ancient Egyptians believed cats were more than mere animals. They were divine messengers, guardians of life and death. To them, the cat was a bridge between the mortal and the divine. Today, we uncover how cats lived, worshipped, and ruled in one of the most fascinating civilizations in history. This is the secret life of cats in ancient Egypt. To understand Egypt's love for cats, we must journey back nearly 4,000 years to the fertile banks of the Nile River, where civilization bloomed. Life here was harsh yet abundant. The Nile's floods brought prosperity but also danger. Crops had to be protected. Grain attracted rats, snakes, and scorpions. And that's when the Egyptians noticed something remarkable. The wild cats that roamed their villages weren't just hunters, they were protectors. They kept vermin away, ensuring food supplies were safe. They defended homes from poisonous snakes. And slowly, humans and cats formed a silent pact, one of mutual survival. The Egyptians didn't tame cats. Cats chose Egypt. Over time, the cat's presence evolved from practical to spiritual. The Egyptians saw divinity in their behavior, the stealth of a predator, the warmth of a mother, the balance of grace and ferocity. And so the cat became sacred. At first, they were seen as symbols of fertility and motherhood, linked to women's power to nurture and protect. But soon they transcended even that. Enter Bastet, the cat goddess. Bastet was one of the most beloved deities in all of Egypt. She was depicted as a lioness at first, fierce and untamed. But as time passed, her image softened into that of a domestic cat, gentle yet deadly when provoked. She became the protector of homes, families, and especially women. Her temples were filled with cats, and her followers believed that to care for a cat was to honor the goddess herself. Imagine a city where cats ruled, not metaphorically but literally. That city was Bubastis, the cult center of Bastet. Here, cats roamed freely through temples, courtyards, and markets. The air was thick with incense, the scent of flowers, and the quiet echoes of devotion. Pilgrims from across Egypt traveled to Bubastis to offer gifts, not gold or jewels, but cats themselves. Some were bred for temple life. Others were adopted by families who sought Bastet's blessing. The city thrived, its wealth built on faith and the feline form that symbolized it. During festivals, tens of thousands would gather. Music filled the air and offerings were made to the goddess. At the heart of it all, cats sat proudly, adored, pampered, and revered. In everyday Egyptian homes, cats weren't pets in the modern sense. They were family and sacred protectors. To harm a cat, even accidentally, was considered a grave offense. Some records say that killing a cat, even unintentionally, could lead to death. Such was their reverence. Families adorned their cats with jewelry, golden earrings, jeweled collars, sometimes even tiny amulets engraved with Bastet's symbol. When a cat entered a home, it was believed that Bastet herself had blessed that household. And when a cat died, mourning followed. The entire family would shave their eyebrows, a sign of grief, and sometimes preserve the cat's body through mummification, so its soul could journey safely to the afterlife. Death in Egypt was not an end but a transformation. And the cats, too, were given the same honor. Priests carefully wrapped their bodies in linen, placing amulets between the folds. Their eyes were painted on the wrappings, symbolizing eternal watchfulness. Some were buried in family tombs, others in massive cat necropolises, sacred cemeteries filled with thousands of feline mummies. In 1888, archaeologists discovered one such site in Beni Hassan, uncovering over 80,000 cat mummies. Each one a testament to Egypt's love for these creatures. To the Egyptians, The cat's spirit joined Bastet in the afterlife, watching over the living, ensuring the balance between protection and chaos remained intact. Even the mighty pharaohs weren't immune to the charm of cats. They were often depicted alongside them in paintings and carvings, lounging beneath golden thrones, or sitting beside their royal masters. Cats guarded palace halls, slept on silken cushions, and feasted on the finest meats. Some were even buried alongside their royal owners. Pharaohs believed that the spirit of a cat could ward off evil, that its gaze could see what no human eye could. In a world ruled by gods and mystery, the cat was both companion and protector of kings. As centuries passed, the worship of Bastet became a major industry. Cat breeding expanded, temples gained wealth, and artisans sculpted countless cat statues in bronze and alabaster. Families bought and offered mummified cats as tributes, believing it would bring them favor in the eyes of the goddess. This devotion, however, created an entire economy around cats. There were professional breeders, mummifiers, and even markets where cats were sold for temple offerings. The sacred had become a system, and though the love remained, the purity of the bond began to fade. Yet still the cat endured, because its presence, mysterious and self-possessed, was eternal. Then came the Greeks. The Romans. New gods, new empires. Slowly, the temples of Bastet fell silent. The statues were buried, the rituals forgotten. But the cats remained. They adapted. They lived in the shadows of ancient ruins, along the same riverbanks that birthed their legend. And as centuries rolled on, they followed traders and travelers beyond Egypt's borders to Greece, Rome, and eventually, the rest of the world. Wherever they went, their mystery followed. Even today, the house cat carries a spark of Egypt's eternal flame, that air of quiet royalty, that divine indifference, that timeless stare that seems to look right through us. Because deep within, every cat remembers. The sand, the temples, the worship, the glory. When you see a cat resting in a sunbeam, when you feel its soft purr vibrate against your hand, know this: you're hearing an echo of Bastet's temple. You're touching a piece of history that once defined an empire. A reminder that some gods never truly fade. They simply change their form. And in the quiet gaze of your cat, calm, wise, unbothered, you might just see the spirit of Egypt looking back.